Hi everyone, my name is Gautam Gupta and I want to welcome you all to my YouTube channel, Universal Fundamentals. In this two-part video, I'm going to be talking about a very important transit that will be occurring in the month of April, and that is on April 21st of this year, transiting Jupiter is going to enter the sign of Aries, where it will remain until May 1st of 2024. Now, this is going to be a very impactful time, and I do want to discuss how this is going to be affecting you personally. The first part of the video will give a general background as to what to expect when Jupiter enters the sign of Aries, and the second separate video will discuss how Jupiter's transit in Aries will affect each ascendant and moon sign. Now, before I begin the discussion of part one, I do want to invite everyone to please check out my website, universal-fundamentals.com, where you can learn more about me and what I do as a Vedic astrologer. You can also book a reading with me, and I have also recently introduced a recorded reading service where if you have specific questions that you need answers to regarding your own personal situation, then this is a great solution for you. I will be leaving the links down below so you all can check that out in more detail. I also want to remind everyone that I do practice sidereal Vedic astrology and not Western tropical astrology. So, with that being said, I will now begin discussing the background of Jupiter's transit into Aries for the upcoming year. So, for the entire month of April, Jupiter is going to be in a pretty turbulent situation. It will be in Pisces for the first 3 weeks of April, but most of this time it will be in the state known as Gandhanta. And Gandhanta occurs whenever a planet reaches its final degrees of a water sign and enters the initial degrees of a fire sign. And this is a very karmic period, and emotions are extremely volatile during this transition. So during this transit, it is best to remain calm and not make any impulsive decisions based on your emotions. It is best to wait until Jupiter crosses the Gandhanta zone before making any drastic changes. And more specifically, Gandhanta occurs between the last 3 degrees and 20 minutes of a water sign and the first 3 degrees and 20 minutes of a fire sign. And the closer the orb it is, the more intense this Gandhanta transition becomes. Now, another intense aspect about this Jupiter entering Aries this month is that it will also occur right around the same time as the solar eclipse, which is on April 20th of 2023, and the Mercury retrograde, which is actually the same day as Jupiter enters Aries. Now, I have already made a separate video regarding the solar eclipse as well as the Mercury retrograde, so I will leave the link down below so you guys can check that out more in detail. So for the purpose of this video only, I will mainly be discussing Jupiter's transit into Aries. Now, Jupiter loves to be in the sign of Aries. And first of all, Jupiter is friendly to Aries' Lord rulership, which is Mars. And Aries is all about self-expression, action, getting things done, and direction. And here, Jupiter finds direction and strength in the sign of Aries because remember, Jupiter originally finds directional strength in the first house, and Aries is the original first sign of the zodiac. It's very happy to be in this sign, and it feels like it can impart its wisdom in a very action-oriented and dynamic manner. Many people are going to feel a renewed sense of optimism and self-confidence during this year, and it's going to give many people ambition and drive to get things done. There will be many expansive opportunities that will come throughout the year for many of us, so be sure to take advantage of these while you can. And for many of you, this will represent new beginnings and a fresh start. And because Jupiter is in the first zodiac sign of Aries, it is going to give many of you a desire to implement a fitness routine and start taking care of your physical health in a more disciplined approach. Now, although Jupiter is going to give a sense of optimism, self confidence, and new beginnings to many of us, It is important that we stay grounded and realistic so we don't get carried away into making wrong decisions. And here's why. Now, Jupiter is going to be in two different positions for the coming year while it is in the sign of Aries. From April 21st throughout November 28th of this year, Jupiter is going to be conjunct Rahu in the sign of Aries. And then after November 28th of this year and until May 1st of 2024, Jupiter will remain in Aries by itself while Rahu will have entered into Pisces at that time. Now, for those of you who don't know, I do use the true node calculation instead of the mean node calculation when determining the placement of Rahu and Ketu. So while some astrologers are noting that Rahu and Ketu shift signs in October, the true nodes indicate that the nodes will shift signs on November 28th of 2023. Regardless of whether we use the mean node or the true node, Rahu and Jupiter will be conjunct in Aries for quite some time, and this is going to somehow alter the effects of Jupiter. Now, you see, whenever Rahu and Jupiter are conjunct, this is known as Guru Chandal Yoga. Now, I know some astrologers tend to believe that this is a very negative conjunction, as Rahu can take away Jupiter's positive qualities. And yes, you do need to exercise some caution with this transit and make sure you are getting proper advice from mentors and other higher figures before making an informed decision. However, here's the thing. Rahu and Jupiter both indicate expansion and growth. So ultimately, this is never going to be a bad thing for you. So wherever they are conjunct in your birth chart via transit, this will ultimately bring you opportunities, growth, and expansion. However, until November 28th of this year, be careful that you're not overexpanding or overdoing yourself, as this can ultimately lead to burnout and setbacks. So, with this conjunction, please keep everything in moderation. Now, I also want to mention some important dates to look out for while Jupiter is in the sign of Aries. The first date I want you guys to be aware of is that on June 1st of 2023, Rahu and Jupiter will be exactly conjunct at 9 degrees of Aries. So, if you happen to have a natal planet between 6 to 12 degrees of either the signs of Aries, Leo, Libra, or Sagittarius, then I foresee major opportunities and expansion related to whatever houses Jupiter and that natal planet rules in your own personal birth chart. Now, of course, the closer the natal planet is to 9 degrees, the more impactful and eventful this transit will be for you. Now, the next date I want you to be aware of is going to be September 4th of 2023. And this is when Jupiter will station to turn retrograde 21 degrees of Aries. Now, this is another major expansive and opportunistic time for those who have a natal planet between 18 to 24 degrees of either Aries, Leo, Libra, or Sagittarius. And because Jupiter will be slowing down during the summer months, it is going to stay between that 18 to 21 degree mark between the months of August and October. So late summer and early fall of this year will be extremely beneficial for anyone who has a planet between 18 to 24 degrees in the signs that I've already mentioned. And the final date that I want everyone to be aware of is on December 31st of 2023, and this is when Jupiter will station to turn direct at 11 degrees of Aries. So once again, if anyone has planet between 8 to 14 degrees of either Aries, Leo, Libra, or Sagittarius, then things will be moving forward very nicely in your life and you will have a very lucky, fortunate, and prosperous effect. And Jupiter will be around this degree marking throughout late November of this year and early February 2024. Now, two things I want to mention about these degree markings is that, first of all, I always use a 3-degree orb to assess a major event in a birth chart. So, for example, even though Jupiter will turn direct 11 degrees of Aries at the end of the year, Anyone who has a natal planet between 8 to 14 degrees of Aries, Libra, Leo, or Sagittarius will feel the positive effects. And this is because Jupiter will be casting an aspect to these signs. Another thing I want to mention about this is that you must be running the Mahadasha or Bhukti of either Rahu, Jupiter, or the natal planet in which Rahu and Jupiter is triggering to really feel these positive effects. If you aren't running the Mahadasha or Bhukti of these planets, you can still feel the positive effects, but it will not be as impactful as if you were running either Rahu, Jupiter, or the natal planet's Mahadasha or Bhukti cycle. Now, of course, Jupiter will be traveling within three different nakshatras during this transit. So this is going to bring another element of change as Jupiter transits these different nakshatra portions. Now, the sign of Aries contains three nakshatras. The first nakshatra is Ashwini, which ranges from 0 degrees of Aries all the way through 13 degrees and 20 minutes. And Ashwini is symbolized by a horse's head, and it is known as the star of transport. Now, this is a very enterprising and pioneering lunar mansion, and people with this nakshatra are known for initiating new projects and new beginnings in their lives. People with this nakshatra are mainly concerned with speed and getting things done quickly rather than caring about accuracy. So there can be a lot of hiccups along the way when trying to get things done. So please be careful and take your time with these new projects so you don't have to redo anything in the future. Now, Jupiter will be in this nakshatra from April 21st until June 20th of 2023. Then it's going to re-enter this nakshatra on November 27th later this year, and it will remain in this nakshatra until February 2nd of next year. Now, the next nakshatra in which Jupiter will enter is the nakshatra of Bharani. And Bharani is the second nakshatra of the 27 total nakshatras, and it ranges from 13 degrees 20 minutes to 26 degrees and 40 minutes of Aries. And Bharani is symbolized by the yoni, which is the female organ of reproduction. Now, this is the star of restraint, and people with this nakshatra are all about breakthroughs and transformations from the traditional paths of life. Now, this can be a very difficult nakshatra at times because there are many struggles and obstacles that come when trying to break through and transform. So during this transit, we can see that many people will be trying to break through and transform from any original or traditional beliefs that have been holding them back from their highest potential. And while this may be difficult at times, we will be successful in accomplishing this. Now, the dates that Jupiter will be in Bharani Nakshatra will be from June 21st of 2023 until November 26th of this year. Then it will re-enter this nakshatra from February 3rd of next year till April 16th of 2024. Now, the final nakshatra that Jupiter will enter in the sign of Aries is Kritika. Now, Kritika's nakshatra ranges from 26 degrees of 40 minutes to 10 degrees of Taurus. Now, Kritika's symbol is a knife and razor, and this is known as the star of fire. Now, people are going to be extremely righteous and vocal about what they believe in, and they will not hesitate to communicate this to others. Now, while it is a good thing to have vocal discussions about what we believe in, it is important that we don't get overly fanatical or extreme with what we believe in, so we don't alienate the people around us. We do need to have constructive discussions so we can understand and respect everyone's point of view. Now, Kritika's nakshatra in the Aries portion will only remain present from April 17th of 2024 until May 1st of 2024. Then, on May 1st of 2024, Jupiter will enter Taurus and will continue to remain in Kritika nakshatra until June 12th of 2024. So this is what I wanted to recover regarding part one of this video regarding Jupiter's transit in Aries that will be occurring on April 21st, 2023 until May 1st of 2024. And like I said, I will be doing part two of this transit video, where I will be explaining how Jupiter in Aries will affect each ascendant and moon sign. So I hope you guys got something out of this video. And if you found this video to be useful, then please give it a thumbs up by hitting the like button. Doing so will really help me out with the YouTube algorithm so this video can reach a vast audience. And also, if you're new to my channel and would like to see similar videos like this in the future, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on that bell notification. And lastly, if you would like to know more about me and what I do as a Vedic astrologer, then please check out my website, universal-fundamentals.com. Thank you so much, everybody, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.